Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Today's tip is about our invisible gifts and powers. You can call them your superpowers if you want, but every single human being has these invisible gifts and powers. Now, what do I mean by invisible? I'm talking about something that's not tangible. It's something you hear, sense, feel, see in your mind's eye, or you know. So we call these things like clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and we all have these gifts and powers. Now, two of the greatest ones that the vast majority of everyone has is intuition, and another one that a lot of people have is being empathetic or empathic. So intuition is usually you get like this little voice or this little idea, and it's just a tiny little thing, and it lasts a fraction of a second, and it's usually a warning. So my favorite example of an intuition was one day I was about to go on the airplane, and I stopped leaving my house, and I thought I was missing something. And I kind of went through my mind, socks, shoes, and all that sort of stuff. And I thought, what am I missing? And the word Band-Aid came into my head. So I didn't question it. I just went into the bathroom. I got a Band-Aid. I got back in the car, went to the airport, got on the flight, landed in LaGuardia Airport. And when I was picking up my bags, my hand sliced the bag carrying machine and it sliced my finger. But I had a Band-Aid. Now, you might say, oh, that's just lucky or whatever, but I got to tell you something. I've taken over 1,000 flights in my life, and I never needed a Band-Aid before or since, and I've never carried a Band-Aid with me before or since. So the probability of me carrying a Band-Aid 1 in 1,000 times when I needed a Band-Aid 1 in 1,000 times was a 1 in a million probability, 1 in a million chance that that was an accident. It was no accident. Now, how that happens is a whole different conversation. But the way you learn to use your recognition is you start keeping a little bit of a log. And every time you have a sense of something, act on it, and then make a note on whether your intuition was accurate or not. And you will discover that the more you practice using your intuition, the more you start keeping a log about your intuition, the more powerful it will become, and the more easily you will recognize this amazing superpower we have. Now, another one is being an empath. Now, an empath is a person that feels what other people are feeling. And this one is sort of a bit of a blessing and a curse, because sometimes you don't know whether what you're feeling is something about yourself. And it's kind of easy to tell once you start paying attention to it. In other words, if you walk up to somebody and you meet them and all of a sudden you start to feel heat, or you start to feel nervous or anxious, and you want to sort of back away or something, then their biophotonic field, their field of energy around them is interacting with the field of energy around you, and your body is telling you something. So you have to first learn to recognize how you feel about certain emotions that other people are exhibiting. Now, it can be a curse because it makes you feel bad, but it can be a blessing in disguise in negotiations, in relationships, in all kinds of things, all kinds of scenarios, because your empathic abilities are a blessing in disguise because it's helping you recognize something about the person that you're with, and it means something for you. So that's just two examples. As I said, there's other invisible gifts, like people who see visions in their mind's eye. And in my experience in working with 1,000 clients, that's very common with very successful entrepreneurs. They see these visions in their mind's eye. They see the inventions in their mind's eye. They see challenges or problems that are coming up. And the strange thing about these invisible gifts and powers is that they are so natural to us that we don't even know that it's happening, because it's a natural gift and ability. So the way to discover whatever your invisible gift or power is go ask 3 people who know you really well what it is that you're doing that amazes them, or it's like, wow, that's really unique about you. I hope you found this very valuable. And if you want to learn more about this, we're going to be talking about all these different tips and techniques and all these practices and using all these experiences in my 6-day Harmony retreat. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night.